Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Magic and Miracles 2, where we talk entrepreneurship, we talk psychology, we talk manifestation, and how to ultimately become the best version of yourself and how to help yourself. My name is Anna, and I created Magic and Miracles to help people to really explain how manifestation is not a woo-woo concept. You just need to get behind the wheel of those creations. There's that. And also at the same time learn to trust the universe and not hyperventilate about being perfect. But that aside, it's a really fun game, and you really should get into the mood of this being a game. It will help you tremendously much. So I coach people. I've been a coach for 10 years, 7 years outside YouTube, coaching entrepreneurs, singers, actors, models, Hollywood stuff. I still have these clients, but I wanted to, around COVID, to create something that would allow me to express my thoughts. And one thing led to another. I have my original channel, Magic and Miracles, which primarily discusses relationships. Which I happen to have a plethora, an abundance of experience in. For myself, I had to turn that around. But I also created this sister channel, if you will, to discuss entrepreneurship and how to really thrive as an individual in whatever market and in whatever time, and take any century, any time. What I'm about to give you is what I wish somebody really just explained to me or re-explained to me rather. Somewhere along the line there in my 20s, I totally lost touch with God, with divinity, with the universe, chasing the wrong types of things and the wrong types of people. So this is what I'm kind of here to prevent for some people, right? Or you don't have to be in your 20s. You could be going through your 40s and questioning everything, etc. But this is what I wish I told myself, as a reminder, okay? I look around at today's world and I'm just baffled and quite frankly disappointed with the caliber of ideas that we produce as a society and impose upon each other. Again, this endless demand, excuse me for my voice, this endless demand of perfection. You have to be perfect. You have to look this way. The short has to be under 3 minutes, right? Well, recently they just extended it. You can't say certain things, okay? You have to have a thumbnail in a certain way. And all of this is just completely draining your perception of wanting to be an individual. And I'm really here to just support those people who really understand. It's on another level, what I'm going to give you here. So pay attention. Really fly above all this fucking crappy bullshit trying to fit in really, really hard. Really, really hard. Usually the wannabes, I gotta tell you. If you're really trying hard to fit in, either you don't understand that that's not what's supposed to happen, or you are just a wannabe. You want to be like the next person. I mean, you just are. And that's an upgrade for you. And you know what? No disrespect, but everybody's on their journey. As long as you're, not malicious, you're benevolently positioned. I suppose everybody has a journey, but I'm going to give you the creme de la creme because this is what you come here for and on this channel. And please subscribe. My goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers this month. Invest in your own brand. I don't care what you do. I don't care who you are. I don't care how old you are. I think what I intuitively understood from early on, like a very early age, but I couldn't fucking verbalize it. And certainly nobody, much less my parents, taught me anything about entrepreneurship, money, none of that stuff. Branding my ass, I had to find out on my own. And again, this is advice that I would have given myself. Just invest in yourself as much as fucking possible. Read books, find out who you are. Go take that class. Go find out about cooking. Do shit that really inspires you. It all leads to the same place of you completely revolutionizing your life and world and really doing what you would rather do in the way that you would rather do it, being the person that you would rather fucking be, rather than taking the cue from the rest of the fucking morons that don't have any idea either what the fuck they're doing. They're just following the crowd. That's all they can do. Be above that shit. Go beyond. Be a brand. What is a brand? Marilyn Monroe is a brand. The woman's been dead like how many decades now, and she's still making money. That's a fucking brand, man. Okay? There are a lot of imitators, again, wannabes, and this and that, but nobody sounds like her. Nobody moved like her. Still, it doesn't exist. You can't replicate it. You know where this comes from? From authenticity. Being exactly who you are, doing exactly what you want to do, how you want to do it, believing in yourself, persevering, not doubting, and ultimately winning in so many magical ways. You will hardly be able to believe like you did anything before. This is not superficiality. We're not just talking looks or how you appear to the outside world. No, I'm talking depth here. And people understand the difference. Here's one thing that I will give to today's society. People are fucking smart. This is what baffles me personally. This is the reason it baffles me personally. Because the audience is freaking phenomenally educated. But the content... you know what I mean? Like, even in the manifestation world, I don't purposely do not watch other coaches. I don't even want it in my kind of like consciousness swimming around, because I'm so pure and authentic with my channeling. I just need my channel to be channeled, and that's all I give a shit about. But once in a blue moon, somebody sends me something and I check something out and I'm like, wow, no, yeah, does not resonate. It used to be 15 years ago when I did the work on myself that, I would be still impressed by something. I mean, the obvious is, yes, they're the greats like Neville Goddard and, Joe Dispenza and Greg Braden and all of these like really high caliber people that it's kind of like, you never get tired of them, even though their material front, back, and center kind of situation. But the rest are just, again, wannabes. You be a fucking Joe Dispenza. You be a Marilyn Monroe. You be Modigliani, man. We're not doing anything else. You want the shortcut, so to speak? Let's speak in today's terms. I hate that fucking word, all right? Shortcut my ass. You're going to have to do the work. Either way. Okay, newsflash. You're going to have to put in the work, but what you're going to have to focus on is not the outside world. Hello? The outside world, literally, metaphysically speaking, and literally, just in even like 3D terms, will respond to what you put out. Right? So if you're behaving like everybody else, first, that's such a disadvantageous position. I couldn't dream of doing that. I couldn't dream of be yourself. Just show up and have faith in what you've got. But be prepared, all right? If everybody just showed up as themselves, like what they truly are inspired, what they truly want to do, and took the time, the prep work and the education behind it. In other words, if you are to construct a dress, I mean, you better learn how to fucking construct a dress, right? I'm just saying, if you are a producer, like, you better learn how to mix a song and things like that, of that nature. I mean, passion alone doesn't guarantee you success. But I just feel like there's so much emphasis on trying to be liked I got you there. It's a situation. This obsession of being liked truly exposes people who depend on that solely, like as they breathe air, and who really just show up for, the good reason. Right? If you give up on this obsession to be liked and you just gave yourself permission to show up exactly as you are, I mean, and if everybody had done that just on a regular basis, we would see a transformed world, ladies and gentlemen. It would just be a completely different picture. There wouldn't be jealousy, there wouldn't be somebody trying to get on over somebody and trying to be like somebody and this and that, because I think, and this is of course my fantasy, my personal fantasy, I get to have my fantasies, but it would be a transformed world because it would solely be based on inspiration. And that's where it's at. Your brand is your inspiration. It's not in the research of what fucking works. Forget that shit. Can I tell you how many times I went with my intuition and I was like a zillion % right? No fucking textbook could have shown me that. No fucking class, nothing. No Google search, no chat GPT. Fucking hate that shit. Oh my God, please. Just go back to creativity, go back to authenticity, go back to inspiration. If you have an idea and you haven't implemented it thus far, like for instance, what I would have said to my 21, 22-year-old self, I'd be like, bitch, please, you know who you are. Like what Kevin O'Leary, there's this really awesome Instagram post with Kevin O'Leary, like all of them are, where he basically, like, I think it's under a minute, I might be wrong, maybe it's a couple of minutes, explains to somebody over the phone why it's so much more advantageous to be a brand creator, to create your own company, essentially. He does it perfectly. I'm not even going to attempt to replicate that speech. I'm just going to post it right after I post this video. And he basically explains, like, look, you will basically be better off monetarily, lifestyle-wise, okay, in every sense of the word, health-wise, because you have a better lifestyle, etc., etc., etc. You're just better off investing in yourself. And Jim Rohn has that too. Don't work hard at your work hard on yourself. Be more valuable to people. Why the fuck you gotta show up and be like somebody else or like everybody else? You are valueless. You just made yourself a fucking penny when you could have been $100 bill. I'm so fucking serious. People discount themselves all day long. Why? No confidence. Well, to have the confidence, you have to really, yes, acquire certain skills that are undeniably powerful. But that you're like not aware, first of all, yeah, the skill set in the 3D, what you got to do, example being construct a dress, but also to like reacquaint yourself with yourself. When I was 15 years old, I was like in full swing, like designing my own clothes, like making them, having them made. I was hiring help. I just started modeling, so I could afford it. And it was the most breathtaking, enjoying every minute of it. It was just, I'm stuttering because I can't find the words to express that feeling of just complete surrender to ecstasy. Just really, joy is not the word, it's ecstasy. What makes you feel like that? And I knew I had to do that, but then I moved to New York and, I just moved to New York, but I mean, I can't start doing that. So I forgot all about that. And inevitably, whatever, followed the model route because I constantly got recruited and it was just easy. Okay. But that's what ended up making me miserable. Had I just been able to somehow twist my head back on right and remember my dreams, okay? And maybe I had to have had this miserable, few years in my 20s so that I appreciate what it's really like, to seize each day as it comes and make the most of it. But I had these luxuries like depression. Who the fuck can afford depression? Get out of bed, let's go. We've got shit to do. Kind of like today or for the last, I don't know, 15 years, depression my ass. No, we can't afford depression. We need to get shit done. You're so driven when you're working for yourself. You're so motivated. You just have to, find it or remember what really thrills you like this. And what I would have said is to invest in that. Forget everything else. Forget what looks cool. Forget what people approve of. Forget what people tell you, fucking assholes, what you should be doing. Or, in what field, etc. and how. Forget all that shit. Just throw it out of the fucking window. It's not yours. It's not the shape of your heart. Forget it. Yes, I quoted Sting. That's not the shape of your heart. It's close. It's almost a quote. You belong somewhere else. And somewhere else, that version of you, that parallel version of you is fucking thriving right now, may I tell you. Just put in enough work. The obvious after that, it comes that, first of all, produce the best you can. Don't do halfway nothing. Produce something that like you're actually proud to put out. Like, yeah, this, I can put my name on it out there. This is also not for nothing. I really, like sometimes, new entrepreneurs, they get really excited. Sorry about the noise. Really excited, really impatient, and they, are so in a rush to just get started. But I've coached some of these people, and it's like you're not giving yourself the chance to acquire the experience. Now, the reverse could happen also, where the person is really experienced, but they just don't believe in themselves, right? But in any case, you should start, just produce something that you would sell it to yourself. Like you yourself would buy that something. Without question, without be like, that, in a nutshell, I myself would, spend that money or more kind of deal situation, right? Always give more. That's my true belief. I don't know where I got it from, but I always give more. It multiplies that energy, and I don't just do it for that reason. It just feels, there's a certain gratitude about it. And first of all, I enjoy everything I do professionally, so it's not that I don't mind, but it has to be worth somebody's time. It has to be so good that you yourself would buy the service. And this alone will carry you through your insecurities, because you know the work that you put in. You know what the quality is of that something. You've invested in your brand. You've invested in yourself. Now it's just time to shine as a superstar. Every entrepreneur's role is to be, a salesperson, a showman, a showwoman for their brand. Not in a fake way. If you're coming from authenticity, it's not salesmanship anymore. It's just your lifestyle. You talk, breathe, walk, and talk this something that you're doing. And this, you're gonna have to like tune out the voices that you're like this braggart, or, people say that about me. I don't give two shits about it. I really don't. Because, for one, it took me a long while to say nice things about me, and I'm not about, to stop this habit now. But two, it really just explains to people. If you're coming from the point of explaining about why you are different from other people, that's not bragging, that's just stating facts. Okay, because you understand where you stand in the market. I think that's the intelligent thing to do, is to get familiar with the market and where the fuck you stand. If you don't understand that, then why the fuck you here, quite frankly, right? So the fact that you can explain to somebody why you are valuable is not bragging. Again, it's based in facts. So when you're talking about yourself, you really should believe in what you're saying. You really should have like accurate facts, data to back it up with. Otherwise, forget about it. But that comes from investing in yourself. And twofold, again, just to summarize, the work you'll do in the 3D to acquire the skill set, to polish the skill set, and being guided by the divine, just basically speaking, because you will never, ever, ever succeed in business just with your human brain. I don't care what you say. I just don't. You are going to have this divine counterpart that whispers these ideas in your mind, gives you the proper guidance, that you have to develop a relationship with it, perhaps a deeper one, a deeper conversation, and trust it and see the fruits of that kind of relationship. It's unquestionable. You ain't going nowhere with that. I mean, if you read about the greatest ideas and discoveries, that, people got them from their dreams, and the formulas and for physicists and different ideas, inventions, etc., etc. I mean, the list goes on. So you're not this little kind of like person over here. You're godlike. There's that. So I don't know. It's like not using $1 billion account somewhere in your name when you could be. That's how I see the divine guidance. You're just this little kind of like your human avatar over here on earth is, I mean, it's not even 1% of everything you are. Sometimes when I go into like a really deep meditation, requesting information or requesting ideas and this and that, holy shit bananas, they give me the ideas and they give them to me in abundance, so much so that like sometimes I don't even have the ability to explain all of it or the time to write it down or to record it. It's just a flood, like floodgates are opening. And you just like, whoa, like there's so much information, so many ideas, and so much to source from. Meanwhile, people down on earth, all mimicking each other. Oh my God, hilarious. Good morning to you. It's morning in New York right now, early morning. So when you believe in yourself this way, sky is not the limit. Sky is not the limit. You're going to have to price yourself accordingly. That's a big one. That's another one that I had to learn. And this is what I'm going to leave you with, because I could talk on the subject forever. You're going to have to demand respect in the form of, this is how much I'm charging. And if you don't like it, that's okay with me. You're going to have to know your own worth before other people do. And don't sell yourself short. It feels weird. It feels wrong. It feels like you're overstepping yourself. Why the fuck should you sell yourself short? Hello? You worked so hard. You know what the fuck you're selling, as we discussed. You're following the yellow brick road of inspiration. You're worth gold, baby. You're the golden motherfucking Buddha. Don't ever sell yourself short. If anything, start smaller, let's just say, than you would if you're starting out. Okay, but always have the eye on the prize of like, no, this is where I'm actually going. But don't sell yourself so short like it's not even worth it. That's catastrophic. Forget, I've done that just to, I don't know, be a people pleaser. Really awful situation. Okay, from all corners. It's just you need to go with quality. You need to know your brand. You need to go with one of a kind, authentic. Then you get to charge whatever the fuck you want, because it is worth it. And you know it's worth it, and you believe in it. Anything else is just the vibration of selling yourself short is really yucky. And it's not going to attract the right clientele. Trust me when I'm telling you. When people are like looking for discounts and this and that and lower, these are people on the same wavelength as lack. You don't want these people. You want people who are, on the same level. You can have a great relationship with them. So when people, or somebody who believes that maybe they don't have a lot of money right now, but they believe in themselves, and they have an attitude of yes can do, and therefore they will figure out how to pay for your service. Okay, and then meet you on that level. But lowering your level just to people please, fuck no. No, thank you. You really have to know that for yourself. Nobody's going to explain that to you, because people will constantly challenge you. If you don't know who you really are, people get to tell your story for you. As well as energetically putting out so much energy in terms of service or whatever it is you're providing, and not getting the equal amount of energy back, which is money's energy. It goes against the laws of the universe. Okay, what you're doing is no good from all aspects of it. And of course, the same is true about a product that does not deliver what it says it delivers. It's a bunch of lies. It's higher in price, but actually doesn't deliver what it says it delivers. The same. It's like the exchange has to be of equal value. The energy that matches that dollar amount, that's what I'm talking about. And I think finally what I would say to my 21, 22-year-old self, if you're an entrepreneur, just understand one thing. This is your child. This is your baby. Your business is your baby. You're in it for the long run. This is not, an amusement park. You're not here for the joyride. There are going to be things that, you're going to encounter, and they're not going to be so fucking thrilling. And growing a thick skin is part of the fucking situation here. Period, the end. Again, Jim Rohn in his speeches would say, to think, I'm paraphrasing, to think that nobody's ever going to come and rain on your parade is to be naive at best. To be naive at best. In fact, if somebody's jealous enough to rain on your parade, fucking congratulations. But knowing that you're with this for the long run, and therefore being committed to it, and dedicating time to it, and seeing it flourish, and continue to have your eye close on the quality, the interactions with other people, maybe your employees, etc., and keep a close eye on the quality. Just keep a close eye on what the fuck you're doing. You're here for the long run. I mean, at least that should be the idea behind, at least a decade kind of situation. You're here to really do good work. So buckle up. No matter what it is, you're going to overcome it. And it's not going to be an issue, because provided you're very, very passionate and you're doing it for the right reasons. So really, just setbacks or whatever, challenges, blah, 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 nobody gives a shit. In the big, what is the big picture? What am I taking home as my legacy? What am I producing here? How am I affecting the world? How am I affecting my life? What am I building here? I'm here to stay. I might as well fucking figure it out. And the very last, but certainly not least, especially for women, because I know how it is in relationships. Listen, your partner, whoever you're going to be with, he or she, in that sense, they need to be supportive of what the fuck you're doing. Period. The fucking end. This is not a negotiation. If they, you know what I mean? If they, you can manifest them back and change them. But if they start to challenge you, be jealous of you, you don't need this kind of fucking friction at home. If they start to sabotage your work, and I've had that happen, this is how it's time for them to go, because they're not on your level. You're not into being mediocre here. At least that's not the crowd I attract here on my channel, or the other channel for that matter. You're here to do amazing shit. You need a person who is a fucking partner, a partner who's going to be like, don't worry, babe, I got it. You go do your shit. I got you. Okay? You don't need a fucking drama boy or drama girl. Who needs this shit? Who's got time like that? This is not fun. Go over there somewhere, Let's try this again, or maybe try it with a different person, because I'm telling you, it's going to wear you thin. You need to come home to somebody super drooper supportive who's got you. This person needs to be your support system when you need it. Period. The fucking end. Otherwise, it's not a relationship for an entrepreneur. It's not a relationship for somebody who's like from ground up building something from scratch, and has to go home and or whatever. Maybe you work from home, but your partner's home, and then you have another fucking job to do. Oh, come on. No. Yes, there's certain things to work on in relationships, but if it becomes an undertaking, it's just, you can't afford this kind of fucking time waste machine bullshit. You're gonna have to reconsider, is my suggestion. Your focus entirely needs to be clean and pure, designated towards what you are creating. And in this case, you're creating your legacy. It's not just abundance. It's not just, although of course, you should get paid every penny of what you're worth. But it's not just about that. This is your identity. This is your personality. This is what brings you joie de vivre, joy of living. This is how I stuttered when I was lost for words, how excited I was to create my first collection, essentially, like nobody's business. All the while my mom was screaming and against it, mind you, of course. Toxic narcissist, what else? But see, I've had partners like that would scream on top of their lungs and sabotage the shit out of it. That's time wasted. You'll never get this time back. Cut them loose. Find a dude or a dudette who is like equally motivated in their own field. They're doing their shit. Not just like they're not staying at home with you, okay, collecting dust. They're not fucking furniture. No, they're doing their own shit. When you need them, they're there for you. No, again, not like, a little puppy dog, but a supportive, strong person who really understands what you're doing and is helpful. That's the kind. If it takes more energy than it really needs to, if it turns into some kind of a yucky situation, like, understand you're going to have to make a decision. And if the relationship is already draining, I mean, you know what I mean? I think the choice is kind of like self-explanatory. The same thing, not for nothing, this is turning out a little bit longer, but suddenly got the inspiration. The same thing applies to any kind of employees, partners, any kind of professional relationship. In the beginning, when I started out in business, I cut a lot of breaks to people that I really shouldn't have. Again, it goes back to intuition. I really was like, oh yeah, let's give the benefit of the doubt for the 12th gazillionth time. No, let's not. Let's not. Let's give one benefit of the doubt. After that, you should be done. It's not 3 strikes, you're out. No, it's 2 strikes, you're out. I'm telling you one time, I just saw you do something, this and that, or whatever the problem is. If you do this again, we're not talking anymore. Okay? That's it. Because, again, it's a waste of time to try to... if they don't get it, they don't get it. Okay? So you better off finding a person who is the exact magical genius right fit and who gets it by themselves, rather than babysitting a person and trying to morph them into something that they will never be, And it's an energy thing. Sometimes it's weird. Sometimes you start with certain people and they think they're all right, kind of, sort of. But then as money starts coming in and this and that, they expose themselves, and show you who they really are. And you should really trust that and believe that. And if it's anything other than, again, go with your intuition and trust it. And don't procrastinate. Just completely alleviate. If your intuition screams to you, listen, this person is not your friend, you need to just very elegantly, in white gloves, get rid of this person as soon as possible. And today, like, I can have a dream about somebody, a feeling, a gut feeling. I can notice something yet again, and I'm like, okay, this is the second time I'm seeing this. This is finished. This is how meticulous you have to be about your energy, in my opinion, to be the most productive. You can't afford these leakages of this energy that is pure gold with which you create everything that you create for your business. Thank you very much for listening. All the information from me is below. Until next time, ciao, ciao.